The ROI Summit is the annual gathering where we welcome 150 new members into the ROI community. We bring them from all around the world. There's 150 people participating in this 4-day gathering. We've got 50 Israelis, 50 North Americans, and 50 from around the world. We've got participation or representation from some 32 countries around the world.
So what does it mean to be part of the ROI community?
So the ROI community, we use the word reciprocity. It's a community of reciprocity. And we believe that the ROI community is now a community of over 1,000 members around the world who are all sort of spearheading or creating or working in all kinds of dynamic initiatives and organizations and social startups to improve and make the Jewish world more exciting and more accessible, to advance values of inclusivity, the centrality of Israel, tikkun olam, global Jewish connectivity. And the idea here is that the members of this community support and collaborate and give each other advice, and there's a lot of give and get between the members of this community in order for each of them to advance their initiatives in a more effective way, and together as a community to advance ourselves to a world that is more infused with those values.
And we're not talking of any specific field. Give us a feeling of the variety.
Yeah, we're actually talking about a real diverse range of fields and areas of interest that are represented here. Two, I think, very central topics that have been discussed quite a bit at this ROI Summit is the challenge that the BDS movement is posing to the folks in Israel as well as in Jewish communities around the world, and that's been a hot topic that people have been discussing over here, both in terms of figuring out direct responses as well as indirect responses and ways to engage people with Israel. And the other topic that I think we have a lot of fantastic members who are involved in is all kinds of game-changing initiatives in the broad area of international development, in taking on some of the most significant issues facing humanity, whether it's water issues, poverty. In the developing world, we've got a lot of fantastic initiatives as part of the ROI community that are taking on those. But those are just two central ones. In addition to that, we've got a lot of environmental activists. We've got new media consultants or new media activists that are here. We've got folks who are dealing with all forms of tikkun olam, both in the developing world and in the developed world. We have people who are working on sports as a tool for social change. We have people who are trying to make arts and science and academia more exciting and accessible to young girls all over the world. So there's a really broad range of exciting initiatives for social good here. Our conference is really an opportunity. The way that we see our conference is an opportunity to model the kind of behavior and activity that we would like to see from this community on a year-round basis. So what does that mean? That means that we really encourage the folks over here to have meaningful conversations and even difficult conversations. I think everybody knows that even in when you have a room of 15 Jews and you start talking about some of the tough issues facing the Jewish people, whether it's poverty, whether it's the conflict in Israel, whether it's our relationship with America, whether it's abuse or accessibility to Jewish education, these are tough issues. And in a group of 15 people, the temperature starts to rise in the room, let alone a room filled with 150 Jews from all over the world. But we really encourage people to model the kind of dialogue that we would like to see have happen in the world here. People don't come to the ROI Summit to convince others or be convinced. They come to be exposed and to allow that exposure to influence.
So after a summit like this, you come back home and you're like, wow, that's a good nation we have.
It is definitely a fantastic dose of optimism. Lynn Schusterman, our founder, likes to say that ROI is a great place to come to get a dose of optimism for the world. So I get home and I'm a little bit exhausted from the lack of sleep, but I'm definitely supercharged about all the great energy that this new group of ROIers will now infuse the community with. And it's really, it's definitely awe-inspiring in many ways, and not too long goes by before the community kicks itself into gear and we start going from being a 4-day conference to a 365-day year-round community.